Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Esther here, and today we're going to be starting with chapter number 12, Heron's Formula from your NCERT math textbook. So this is a completely new chapter. It's a very easy chapter just to do with one and only formula. That's all. So let's get going then with the intro to this chapter. I'm not going to be like having an intro to every single exercise like how we used to do usually for every chapter, but instead this is going to be an intro to the complete chapter. So stay tuned till the end so that we will have all the coverage over all the concepts. So let's get going. Yes, so firstly let's start with the types of triangles. Now we know that there are so many types of triangles, and we are only found with equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle. By the way, this symbol means triangle if you do not know this. And we have right angle triangle, which we call as right triangle. Now there's something called a scalene triangle, which we will not be discussing about in this chapter, but with, just for your basic info, I'm just telling what is scalene triangle. Okay, so equilateral triangle, in an equilateral triangle, what happens is all the sides are equal, and similarly all the angles are equal, meaning this angle is equal to this angle is equal to this angle, and this angle is also equal to this angle. So suppose this is 1, 2 and 3 angle 1, 2 and 3, that means angle 1 is equal to angle 2 is equal to angle 3. Okay, similarly, if this is triangle ABC, which is an equilateral triangle, AB is equal to BC, which is equal to CA as well. Okay, this is an equilateral triangle. Now, what is the difference in isosceles triangle? In an isosceles triangle, we have only AB is equal to AC. Only the two sides are equal. The third side is not equal. Okay, so ideally this mark shouldn't come. So the third side is not equal to the other two sides. So, and even this angle is equal to this angle as well. So angle B is equal to angle C. So AB is equal to AC, and angle B is equal to angle C as well. Now in a right angle triangle, you will find the triangle to be somewhat like this. Okay, let's say this is ABC, then at angle B we will have 90 degrees. Okay, so that means this is perpendicular. Fine, so this is a 90 degrees angle. Okay, and we know that this is the hypotenuse as well, the two sides also. Yeah, so this is a right triangle. And scalene triangle, of course, all the sides are not at all equal. So these are the basic types of triangles which we all have studied and we also know as well, right? So now we will be seeing the area of triangles. Firstly, let's see the area of different types of triangles. First, we'll start with equilateral triangle. Usually for an equilateral triangle, we find out the area using root 3a squared by 4. We use this formula to find out the area of this triangle, equilateral triangle, or we could even use half into base into height. Suppose we don't have the height, okay, only the base is given, then how we will find out the height? Using height can be found using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, Pythagoras theorem. Suppose, let's say that I have a triangle as such, and this is the height. Let's say this is A, B, C, and this is AD. And suppose they've given you only this and this. Okay, so and they've asked you to find out the height. So of course, using Pythagoras theorem, that AD square plus DC square with respect to this figure is equal to AC square. Okay, so using this formula, we can easily find out. So if they've given AC square and they've given you AC and they've given you DC and you have to find out AD. Obviously, you can say that AD the whole square is equal to AC square minus DC square. Like this, you can put and find out the height, and then you can of course use this formula as well. This is how we can find out the area of an equilateral triangle. Now, what about a right angle triangle? For this also we can use half into base into height. Okay, so here it's very easy to use this formula. This is also very easy. Suppose we have like a right angle triangle here, A, B, C, and let's say that we have this base as 5 and this height as 4, let's say. So this if I have to find out the area of this triangle using this formula, area is equal to this formula, then how will we do it? Half into base is 5 into height is 4, right? So 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, so 10 centimeter, let's say. Okay, let's say this is centimeter, so this is 10 centimeter square. A very simple example. Okay, so like this is all good. I'm so sorry if I'm using Hindi words in the middle, but I'm like really used to talking in that, but I try to use English as much as possible. Okay, so right triangle. Now isosceles triangle. As I told you before, isosceles triangle, we have A, B, and C here. So AB is equal to AC. Now we have to use Pythagoras theorem here. Pythagoras theorem here. Okay, let's take a triangle, which is obviously an isosceles triangle. And let's say the base is 4 centimeter and we have to find out the area, right? So here, firstly, we need to divide this triangle like this by AD. So this AD is nothing but the height. AD is nothing but the height. Okay. So here this AD must be drawn in such a way that it divides BD and DC equally. So that means this will be 2 centimeter, this will be 2 centimeter. And let's say here our side is 20. Okay, 20, and here we have also 20 because we know that isosceles triangle side, these two sides are equal, right? So now by Pythagoras theorem, that is AD square plus DC square plus, which is equal to AC square. Okay, so now we have AD square, which we do not know. Yeah, we do not have the height here. Okay, so here we'll do one thing. We will find out the height, that is we'll find out AD, and then we will find out the area using half into base into height. Okay, in an isosceles triangle, suppose the area is not given, the height is not given, and only the side and the hypotenuse is given. As far as the ADC triangle is concerned, that time we need to use this Pythagoras theorem and extract the height. Then we can put this formula and find out the area. Okay, so this is the base thing. So now AD the whole square, we do not know what it is. DC, we know that DC is 2 square is equal to AC. What is AC? 20 square. Okay, see, this is my own example. So okay, this is not really like taken from the textbook. I just made this up on the spot. So yeah, so 20 square if I take, it will be 400. Okay, so AD the whole square plus which is equal to 400 minus 4. How did this happen? I took 4 to the RHS. So 400 minus 4. So this will be nothing but 396. Okay, so 396. So AD is equal to root of 396. When the square is coming to the RHS, it will become root. Okay, so area is equal to root of 396. So when we find out the square root of 396, we'll get AD as 19.8 because it's not a perfect square. Okay, so AD is equal to 19.8 centimeter. Let's keep it. So now we found out AD. Now we will apply this formula. A is equal to half into base into height, which is equal to half into base is nothing but 4 into 19.8. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. So 19.8 into 2. This is 39.6. Okay, 39.6 centimeter square. So this is the area of this triangle. So what did we first do? We found out the height. How we found out the height? Through the Pythagoras theorem. Fine. And then we found out the area using half into base into height formula. Okay. And previously for right angle triangle, we use half into base into height as well. And for equilateral triangle also, we use root 3 a square by 4. Okay, and you can also use half into base into height by finding out the height using Pythagoras theorem if the height is not mentioned. Now let's move on. So this is like the basic things. Okay, so all the areas of different types of triangles which you've already learned before. Just a small recap. But now what you're going to learn is completely new. Maybe you have seen it before, but maybe the first time you're using it and trying it. This is the Heron's formula. What is the Heron's formula? Heron's formula, which is nothing but square root of s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c. Now what is this s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c? What do these letters mean? I will tell you. Before that, what do we use this Heron's formula for? Absolutely, as you can see, it's written in front of you, area of a triangle using Heron's formula. So we find out the area of a triangle using Heron's formula instead of using half into base into height. Okay, that is the basic logic. Now, what is SABC here? S is nothing but the semi-perimeter. Semi-perimeter. What does semi-perimeter mean? Meaning half of the perimeter. Half of the perimeter. Now, what is perimeter? Let's see that. Suppose I have a triangle and I have sides A, B, and C. Now, if I have to get the perimeter of this, I will add A plus B plus C, which gives me the perimeter. This is called the perimeter. So instead of perimeter, can I write that half into A plus B plus C? Can I write that? Because perimeter is equal to A plus B plus C. Instead of perimeter, I'll substitute A plus B plus C. So that is nothing but our semi-perimeter. Okay, so this is what S symbolizes. Now A, B, and C are the sides of the triangle. Sides of the triangle. Like here, A, we have one side, B, we have the other side, and C, we have the other side. So these are the sides of the triangle. This is all about the letters of that are used in the Heron's formula. Now, one second. Yes. So now we will see two examples and we will wind up this session. Okay. So we will see how we can find out the area of a triangle using this Heron's formula. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do one more thing. We have to finish area of a triangle using Heron's formula. Then we will go for application of Heron's formula. Okay. So that one part is also remaining. So sorry, I forgot. Now here, area of a triangle using Heron's formula. Let's take an example. Example number 1. Find the area of a triangle. Find the area of a triangle whose sides are 40 centimeter, 24 centimeter, and 32 centimeter. So find the area of this triangle. So let me just draw this triangle for you. 40, 24, 32. Now in brackets, it's also given that using Heron's formula. Now, to find out the area of a triangle using Heron's formula, we need to find out semi-perimeter. Let me write Heron's formula for you. A is equal to square root of A is nothing but area, S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. Correct? So S here, as I told you before, is semi-perimeter. Now, to find out semi-perimeter, we will take the half of the perimeter, which is nothing but A plus B plus C. Correct? So here, what is our A? A is equal to 40 centimeter, right? Because it's the first side. B is equal to 24 centimeter because it's the second side. And C is equal to 32 centimeter because it's the third side. Okay. Now, we will put these values of A, B, and C here instead of A plus B plus C in the formula. Okay, so this will be 40 plus 24 plus 32. Now add this up. What will you get? 96. Okay, so you will get 96 here. So now let's take the half of this. Okay, half in of 96. So what will we get? 48 centimeter. Okay, so we found out this semi perimeter which is 48 centimeter. Now let's substitute the values of S, A, B, C in this Heron's formula. Okay, so A is equal to root of semi perimeter is 48 into S minus A. So what is S here? 48 minus A is 40 into S minus B. So 48 minus B is 24 into S minus C, which is 48 minus 32. So now let's subtract all of this. Okay, whatever we have to subtract. So 48 minus 40 will give us 8. Then 48 minus 24, which will give us 24. Then 48 minus 32, which is 16. So let's just write this down here. Square root of 48 into 48 minus 40 is 8. 48 minus 24 is 24. 48 minus 32 is 16. Okay. Now, what we are going to do next is very, very important, guys. Very, very important. And many of us get confused here, including me. I used to get confused in the beginning as well. So pay attention here. How will we take the square root? See, for perfect squares such as 16 and 16, we can easily write that square root of 16 is equal to 4. But for numbers such as 48, 8, 24, how will we write it? Remember that always whatever numbers you get, split it into its lowest factors. Split it into its lowest factors. So suppose 48, to split it into its lowest factors, one easy technique which all of us know is prime factorization. Prime factorize it. If you do not know the factors mentally, you can of course prime factorize it and find it. I'll tell you how we'll do that. Okay, so it's a very, I know it's a very time consuming method, but for me personally speaking, when I used prime factorization method, I get my answers 100% right always, trust me. But when I used to like try to do it without taking the factors and all, I sometimes get it like wrong. So probably you guys would have better methods and techniques. I'm not saying you shouldn't go straight forward to it. If you're good at it, please go ahead. You can skip this part. Please go ahead. You can directly do it. But if you're one who is like, stuck or confused or like, how do I further go ahead? Then do prime factorization. So now let's prime factorize it. So here, see, look, we've got our factors here, all these. So write it down here. For 48, we have 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3. Okay, then into 8 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2. How? 2 twos are 4, 4 twos are 8. Then we can say 2 into 3 into 2 into 2 is 24. 2 twos are 4, 4 twos are 8, 8 threes are 24. And then 16 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. 2 twos are 4, 4 twos are 8, 8 twos are 16. So now try grouping the like numbers into a pair, meaning when I group 2 and 2, that is root 2 and root 2. Suppose I say root 2 into root 2. When I multiply it, what will I get? Root 2 the whole square, correct? Root 2 the whole square, root 2 into root 2. So this square, this root will get cancelled. This will give us 2, isn't it? So, sorry. So this will give us 2, isn't it? So group this into the into a pair. Sorry, went to the next slide. I will write it down here. So I'm going to erase this triangle and the prime factorization part. So here next, what will we have? So since we've got 2 here, write that 2. So what did I do? I grouped these like numbers. 2 and 2 are same, right? So group it into a pair. So root 2 into root 2 will give you root 2 the whole square. Root 2 and the square will get cancelled. You will get 2. Okay, so 2 into, similarly group these two numbers. We will get again root 2 into root 2, which is equal to 2. So again write 2 here. Then here again we have 2. So I'm directly writing here 2. Okay, I'm not solving because it's the same calculation. So I get 2 into 2. Then group these two as well, 2 into 2. And these two. Again, another 2. These two. Another 2. What is left out? Have we grouped everything? No, we haven't grouped 3. So consider these 2 and you will get 3. Meaning root 3 into root 3 will give us root 3 the whole square, which is equal to 3. Okay, so this is equal to 2 twos are 4, 4 twos are 8, 8 twos are 16, 16 twos are 32, 32 twos are 64, 64 twos are 188, 188 into 3. This will give us, oh, just a second. Sixty-four twos are 128, 128 threes are 384. Yeah, that's what I was like thinking what happened. So this is equal to 384 centimeter square. So this is your area. We found out what did we do? I'm gonna again quickly repeat what we did. See, we first found out the semi perimeter, which is half of our perimeter. Perimeter is equal to a plus b plus c. That is the all the sides added and taking their half, we will get our semi perimeter, which we got as 48 centimeter. Then we found out the area using Heron's formula, that is square root of s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c. So then we substituted the values of a, b, and c in all of this, correct? And then we found out root of 48 into 8 into 24 into 16. We splitted each of these into their factors, lowest factors. So here we split 2 into 2, then 2 into 2 again, and then everything. And then we group the like numbers into pairs as such, and we found out the numbers which do not have this square root on top of them. And then we multiplied all of these numbers together to get our area. Very simple, right? Isn't it? So let's see another example. Second one. So, okay. So second one, I'm going to take your exercise exercise 12.1, the first question. Okay, I'm going to take that, guys. In that, actually it's like I will just directly jump to the part where we find out the area. Okay, to find a solution to the whole problem, please wait for the next video where I'll be explaining about exercise 12.1, all the problems. So I'll directly skip to the I'll go to the part where we'll find the area. Why am I doing that? Because I'm explaining these examples so that you will have a clear idea on what is this area thing. Okay, area using the Heron's formula. So now area of a triangle, okay, is equal to square root of s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c. Let's say that we have an equilateral triangle and all sides are having 60 centimeter only. And let's say that the semi perimeter is also given, which is 90 centimeters. Now you have A, B, C, which is all equal to 60 centimeter. You have all the essential components to find out the area. So area is equal to square root of S is nothing but 90. 90 into 90 minus A is 60 and 90 minus B, which is 60 again, then 90 minus C, which is also 60. So now when we subtract it, we'll get 90 into 90 minus 6 will give us 30. So 30 into 30 into 30. So this is equal to square root of, again, I'm doing all of this. Why? So that we will understand how to split the factors and get the answer. Okay, so here let's take their individual factors. 3 into 3 into 10, I'll keep it. Okay, so now I split it 90 into 3 into 3 into 10. 3 3s are 9, 9 10s are 90. So then 30 can be written as 3 into 10. Similarly, these two also I will split 3 into 10 into 3 into 10. Now group the like factors. We have 10 and 10 here. Sorry, we have 10 and 10 here. We have 3 and 3 here. Then again we have 10. Then again we have 3. How am I getting it? Look here, 10 into 10, root 10 into root 10. Guys, let me know in the comment section down below if I'm going too fast. I will definitely slow down. I'm used to telling things very fast, but let me know in the comments below if I'm too fast and I will reduce my speed. Okay, so here root and square will get cancelled, we'll get 10. That's how I got these two tens. Similarly, 3 also, root 3 into root 3, which is equal to root 3 the whole square, which is equal to root and square will get cancelled, we'll get 3 here. So now we've got 3 into 10 into 3 into 10. Now what is left out is this root 3. So write that left out root 3 as it is, because we don't have any other number left out to combine it. So isn't it? So we will just keep it like this. Now multiply all these together. 3 3s are 9, 9 10s are 90, 90 10s are 900. And this remaining root 3, just put it together like this. Multiply it. If I multiply 900 into root 3, what will I get? 900 root 3, right? So 900 root 3 centimeters square. Okay, this is how we find out the area. So I hope it was clear, guys. So the main part which I wanted you all to understand is this calculation part, where most of us go wrong. Okay, so instead of all these steps, all these complete steps, you can easily do one thing. You can directly find out the root basically. Okay, so I'll tell you how. So instead of all of this, or okay, instead of all of this stuff, what is the root of 90? Basically 30, right? Isn't it? So and then root of 30, what is root of 30? Sorry, no, root of 90 is not 30. Okay, I'm so sorry. That's what I realized that. Okay, so let's do it in a much easier method. Okay, if you do not want to do these steps, you can instead do this. You can take the root of 3 into 30. Just split that. Okay, just split 90 into 3 into 30. Okay, and then you can take the other 330s just like that. Okay, now just group these two and these two. Now you will get what? 30 into 30 into root 3, which is left out, right? So same way, like how we grouped here, same thing. So here you'll get 900 root 3 centimeters square. Okay, so that's how you get the answer. So instead of doing all of this, you can simply finish it up just like this. Okay, so this is a very easy method. Okay, so when you split 90 into 3 into 30, and then you compare it with these three, you can easily group it and find out the same answer. Okay, so guys, that's all for this part. Last part is left out, so I'm sorry if this intro is like going for a bit long thing, but it's like covering all the concepts of the chapter, right? So that's why. So let's get going with the next part. So now moving on to application of Heron's formula. What is this application of Heron's formula? Meaning we will apply this Heron's formula on a quadrilateral. But how can I find out the area of triangle in a quadrilateral? Let's see that. Okay, so suppose I have a quadrilateral as such, which is right in front of you. I can divide any quadrilateral into two equal halves through its diagonals, either by this diagonal or by this diagonal, isn't it? And then I can find out the area of this triangle and add it together, and I will get the area of the quadrilateral. I can find out the area of the quadrilateral using Heron's formula. That is the whole point of application of Heron's. Okay, so we divide the quadrilateral into two equal halves, find out the area of one triangle and the other triangle, and we add both the areas together to get the area of the quadrilateral. Let's see what this is through an example which is there in your textbook. Okay, so let's see this example. Sanya has a piece of land which is in the shape of a rhombus. See figure 12.13. This is figure 12.13, which is in front of you. See, this is, don't judge me by the drawing skills, okay? I'm so sorry. It's not in a perfect rhombus shape, but bear with me. You can, of course, refer to your textbook. There you have a perfect rhombus. So let's continue. She wants her one daughter and one son to work on the land and produce different crops. She divided the land into two equal parts. If the perimeter of the land is 400 meter and one of its diagonals is 160 meter, how much area each of them will get for their crops? Okay, so we need to use Heron's formula. How will we use it? Let's see. So dividing quadrilateral, okay, it's not quadrilateral, it's a rhombus. Dividing rhombus ABCD into triangles ABD and ADC. Area of rhombus ABCD is equal to area of triangle ABD plus area of triangle ADC. Okay, as we all know, as I told you before, this whole rhombus area can be found out by dividing it into two triangles, finding out area of this triangle and adding it together, and you will find out the area of rhombus. Okay, so guys, to find out the area of how much each of them will get for their crops, we just need to find out the area of one triangle. They're asking how much area, meaning definitely we have to find out the area. If I find out the area of one triangle, let's say ABD, I don't need to find out the area of the next triangle. Why is that? Because here we have the same side. See, that means in ABD we have 100 100 and 160, right? This diagonal is the third side of triangle ADP. We all know that. And it is also the third side of triangle TBC, and the other sides are BC and CD. So you see, it's all the same side. So if we again find out the area of this triangle, we will get it as the same thing only. Okay. So we don't want to waste our time like that. So therefore, we will just find out the area of one triangle, and that's enough. We will find out the total the required area. Okay, so now actually we don't need to find out the area of the rhombus. This I just wrote for your information. Okay, what are we told to find? How much area will each of them get? And here Sania has divided this land into two equal halves, isn't it? And she wants her daughter and son to work in the divided parts. Basically, one part is for the daughter and the other part is for the son. So this point which I've written is just for your general information, but we need how much each person will get. So area of triangle ABD, which is nothing but, look here, we know that semi-perimeter is equal to half of the A plus B plus C, right? So this is equal to, in this triangle, let me just draw it like this: A, B, D. Okay, sorry, it is BAD, BAD. This is 100, this is 100, and this is 160. So here our side A is nothing but 100, side B is 100, and side C is 160. So half of the sum of all these will give us what? The semi-perimeter. So 100 plus 100 is 200. 200 plus 160 is 360. So this is equal to half of 360. Now let's simplify this. Half of 360 is 180. So semi-perimeter, we found out that it is equal to 180. Now let's find out the area. Area is equal to the square root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. This is Heron's formula, right? So square root of S is nothing but 180, which we just found out. 180 into 180 minus 100 into 180 minus 100 into 180 minus 160, right? So this 180 is our semi-perimeter. A, B and C are 100, 100 and 60 respectively. So now when you subtract it, I will directly move to the subtracted part. When you subtract it, what will you get? We will get 180 into 80 into 80 into 20. 180 minus 160 is 20. 180 minus 100 is 80. Okay. So when you multiply this and you take the square root and everything, you will get the answer as 4,800 meter square. This is the area. Now we found out the area of this triangle, and this triangle will also have the same area. So therefore, let me write that down here. Therefore, each of them will receive 4,800 meter square area for their crops. This is the concluding statement. Okay. So this is how we find out the area of the quadrilateral, the area of one triangle or area of the whole quadrilateral using the Heron's formula. Okay. Suppose we have to find out the area of the whole triangle. That means we will find the area of this triangle and this triangle. We will add it together to get the area of the rhombus. But here, since we are asked only of one triangle, and since all the sides are equal, we just had to find out the area for one triangle, right? Here the diagonal also was equal, the sides were also equal, isn't it? So therefore we just had to find out for one triangle, and the other triangle will also have the same area. So guys, that's it. So this is all for the intro to this exercise. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you understood it. And if you have any doubts of course, you can let me know that in the comment section below. I'll try to help you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends and family. And let me know your comments in the comment section below. Once again, thank you so much, and see you all in the next video with exercise 12.1. Bye bye.